We should start in the next 30 seconds, within 30 seconds. Hello, everyone. I'm Sauravishwar Sen, Chief Mentor and Founder of Catalyst, welcoming all of you to the Catalyst Knowledge Transfer Series that we have been conducting since the year 2020, from the month of April onwards. The Catalyst Knowledge Transfer Series covers, as much as possible, different perspectives from our society, trying to help young minds, budding innovators, entrepreneurs, school and college graduates, working professionals, to understand the different career paths as well as opportunities in which they can serve the society meaningfully, professionally, and in a sustained way. Catalyst, since 2011, has been focused on training, guiding, and mentoring young people, working professionals, graduates, school students, for the different career opportunities concerning the social science, the social sector, enabling them to pursue degree courses at different institutes in India as well as abroad, as well as hand-holding, mentoring, and guiding students at social science institutes for their career choices, as well as placement support into the development sector. The last 2 years almost, with the COVID-19 pandemic, what we realized is that our collective growth truly is the only savior to help our society sustain its way forward. And when we talk of collective growth, we also have to take care of the inclusivity, which is part and parcel of our social fabric. The strength of a fabric, we all know, is truly based on how deep-rooted we are with our support system and mechanism. And over the years, we have seen some very innovative templates in which support has been provided, and it has been sustained via meaningful business strategies, planning, building narratives, and storytelling. Picking on building narratives and storytelling, I would like to tell all of you that these two terminologies are actually not my words, but the expertise of Bhavya Sharma, who is with us today, representing the communications wing of the very popular service aggregator and provider Urban Company. We are very thankful to Bhavya to take out her time off her busy schedule and want to share her journey, her perspectives with young budding minds in all of you. Bhavya Sharma is Associate Director Communications at Urban Company. She specializes in storytelling and building narratives, in streamlining unstructured thoughts and conversations into prose, or visually depicting stories of services and people. She has been with Urban Company for more than 4 years, establishing and driving the communication vertical, digital, content, media relations, partner communication, and more. Overall, Bhavya has more than 13 years of experience spread across B2B and B2C domains. Thank you, Bhavya, once more for being with us and wanting to be in this platform. I remember when I first connected with Bhavya, the first thing that we really spoke a lot about, if I am not mistaken, is that how Urban Company, representing the quote unquote, corporate structure of doing business and creating impact, is now enabling so many people across the different stratas of the society to get meaningful employment opportunity. And that was one very strong point of Bhavya's work, as well as the Urban Company's vision, that really struck a chord, which basically led to this session today. So, Bhavya, I would like to welcome you once more to this
Yeah. Hi,
platform.
Saurav. Hi, Saurav.
And
Hi, everyone.
hi. Bhavya, just to get the conversation going with so many young people out here, and a lot of them I know, they are very invested in wanting to chart their careers ahead. And looking at the type of work which you are part of and your journey over the last 13 years, uh, what would you like to, highlight in terms of some fundamental points when it comes to communication and the way it is evolving in the present times of business, especially Bhavya, um, post-pandemic, if I can use
Yeah.
that word nowadays. So over to you, Bhavya, and participants, feel free to interact with her, ask questions, and let's get on a very interactive session ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, Saurav. Um, Picking up from the train of thought you just left us with post-pandemic and communications, I think overall communications have drastically changed in the last 1.5 to 2 years, right? So it's suddenly you're always supposed to be empathetic and thoughtful in your communications as a brand or as an individual, but now that need has gone up tremendously. What we are noticing right now in the past few couple of years is how things have dramatically changed for ourselves, for our peers, for the society at large, and not just that. And the kind of social activism you'll see on social media and other platforms, right? So you have to be cognizant of that as well, and how as a brand you're taking care, responding to those events or situations, and how proactively or preemptively you are taking right actions and diffusing the situation before such things arise. So has become extremely critical for communications overall for all of us as stakeholders as part of the overall conversation on digital environment. Cool. Would be great if I can get a sense of who all what everyone here on the platform here on the call does or is looking forward to gain from this conversation. And I do have a presentation that I can I would love to show and discuss and talk to you guys about and have a more interactive conversation going forward.
Right. So I think we can definitely do that for uh, steering the conversation well forward. So maybe I would request to start off with anyone.
Quick
Like I think
messages on chat will also do, right? I
even
mean,
messages on
yeah,
chat, exactly. I think
yeah.
that would also do. In chat, you can always write your questions or even share your introduction. Uh, in fact, Bhavya, like I would also like to share some of the people whom I can see and I know what they do. Like, say, for example, Sananda, to start off with. Sananda, why don't you share your background with Bhavya um, about what you're doing? Um, I know you are into very interesting space. So if you might want to highlight that to Bhavya.
Sure,
Thank
sir.
you.
Sure. So, hi everyone. Hello, Bhavya,
Hi,
and
Sananda.
thank you, sir, for arranging such a interactive conversation. So, I started my career with being a psychologist. So, I am very much focused that I do not want to do any clinical work. I feel that a much more work is required, which we call as so-called normal people there. All right. So my main focus was there. So I started, as I have done my master's in counseling psychology. So we had to do a couple of hours of workshops and practicums in that way. And since then, I got that confidence to start my own practice, and I came down to Kolkata, started practicing under supervision. I got a chance to work with different projects. So one of them was with art school students, one of them was for a school project. Next one was for corporates, for aviation students. So like that, I have started, and it was like behavioral science lecturer It was personality development trainer. So I have started up with these projects. Then I later worked with a CSR project, which was providing life skill training. Then I have taken an international certification in soft skill training. Now I am planning and designing my modules for people who are getting technical trainings from colleges and other institutions, but they are not having that life skills or soft skill, which is very much
Okay.
required when you are
Yeah.
working with people, especially with whether you are working online, whether you are working offline. These are some skill which is required, and it is also seen that when you work on these skills, your daily stress level goes down.
Yeah.
Like there are some practices that you follow. There are some emotional intelligence that you build. There are a lot of interaction that ages out when you have less expectation from people, which you set in your soft skill training, like how you need to
Yeah.
set that. So I thought of working on that area. So I was having a conversation with sir also, that how we can design different modules for different population, which as per their requirement. Not everyone is requiring similar kind of skills. So
Got it.
yeah, so we I am basically working on that.
Sounds very interesting and very varied experiences you've had, Sananda. Would love to hear more from about this from you later on for sure. Cool. Saurav, should I start with the presentation?
Yes, I think you can you can definitely start with the presentation, and I guess the others can also pitch in as
Yeah,
you show them the points. We are always open to questions, participants, as Bhavya takes us through her story.
sure. So this is a really short PPT I have, but lots more to discuss than just show, right? Um, so would walk you through what urban companies, what we are doing here at UC, and what our mission is, and how everything ties back to social impact and what was the genesis of UC, right? So our mission statement is actually fairly simple. Empower millions of service professionals by delivering services at home in a way that has never been experienced before. This sounds as a sentence, this sounds really impressive. And there is a long history behind it. So I'll actually go back to the genesis of Urban Company. We started in 2014, so we're almost a 7-year-old company. In fact, earlier this week, we just completed 7 years. We were having our anniversary celebrations. So what made our founders, the three founders that we have, Abhiraj, Raghav, and Varun, come up with this concept? The idea was very, very simple. We The home services industry in India is a very fractured market. You have some skilled labor, largely unskilled, and you have consumers who want their household chores done, but in a perfect manner. And there's always that mismatch. Who do you find? Who will do this for you, right? So there is demand, there is supply, but there's no way to connect them correctly. And there's always some middleman who will like a shop owner or a salon owner or some other person in the middle who will try and be the fixer between the two, between the supply and demand factors, but will keep 80% of the revenues and only give 20% to the partners, to the actual people who are doing the work. And that was what we wanted to change. That was we wanted money in the hands of people who actually do the work and don't are not just mediators. And that's what we started with Urban Company. Our model is very simple. You do the work, you get the money. It's as simple as that, right? And of course, we do have a commission, but that commission is up to 20%. Almost all 80% of the earnings go to a partner themselves directly. And what we've tried to do with that is streamline the skill side, streamline consumer side, make it a good experience overall. You're no longer haggling with the people. You actually know who's coming to your house. There's a professional coming. They'll do a great job at it. You won't have to supervise them, and you'll have a great experience at the same time. And there's always a company to fall back on if suppose something does break or something goes wrong. You don't need to hold the You don't need to fight or haggle with the partner. There's a company who will take care of you from consumer point of view. From a partner standpoint, there's a company that will take care of you if a consumer misbehaves with you, right? So we are that protective umbrella for both sides of the stakeholder environment here. Now, so what does Urban Company do, right? So we are a fulfillment-led marketplace. What does that mean when I say that? That whatever all the services we provide, we are not an aggregator. The professionals work with us directly, and we do control everything. So in that sense, from onboarding to training to products to marketing to everything else, it's entirely Urban Company driven, and we provide the full 5-stack model to the partners and to the consumers. We are divided into 2 main category verticals. So one is beauty and wellness, where you will see salon for women, salon for men, massage services for men and women. And then there's a home services, which is appliance repair, cleaning, painting, pest control, handyman being like electrician, plumber, carpenter, and more. Currently, we have almost 32,000 partners live on the platform who rely almost 100% on the platform for their daily earnings and livelihood. Any questions so far? I hope you all know about Urban Company, so this should be just warming up, right? So like I mentioned, fulfillment-led model in the previous slide, this is what that means, right? So we are the technology platform. We provide end-to-end a platform where both supply and demand can converge and meet. The second is the training and certification. All our partners are trained and certified in-house. So actually, if I may, I'll just delve deeper on the training bit. We have more than 100 training centers in India. We have more than 200 full-time trainers on board who train all our partners who've joined us and continue to train or upskill them. Right, and we've also tied up with the National Skills Development Council, NSTC, and other skill councils who help with the certification of all our partners. So all the partners on the platform are Skill India certified. In fact, even on their t-shirts, you'll see I think on the right side of the sleeve, it's always mentioned Skill India. Right, on the product and tooling, the third piece that we help our partners with is the products and tools. So especially for beauty, all the products that we use are branded products. There are no spurious products that we use, and we provide all these products to the partners who buy from us. Fourth is the financing and insurance part, which I'll come to later in the later slides, but it's a very interesting piece. We help all our partners open their bank accounts and a lot more other facilities that we provide them with. And fifth is market access and brand. So if you think about this, before Urban Company existed in 2014, how would say a carpenter know which consumer needs him? There's no way that he can go house to house asking, can I do some carpentry work at your house, right? It doesn't work like that. So they would either tie up with a local shopkeeper, or in some area, they'll do one job, one good customer. That customer will be word of mouth and start spreading the number, and perhaps. So that's like not a steady source of income, a staggered income, and not a great way of living. So what we've provided our partners with our platform is a steady source of consumers and therefore steady income via our UC platform. 1 second. So, yes, so I'll now come to the financing and earnings part. So going from the previous slide, the fifth point that I mentioned, market access, right? So what does market access mean? Market access would mean how our partners are able to earn using leveraging the UC platform, right? So recently we did a very deep study. I think just 2 months back we did this. We came out with an earnings index, which basically tells you how much on an average can a UC platform partner earn with us on a per hour basis. And that earnings net of all commissions, net of all products, is all 300 rupees per hour, which if you extrapolate to doing just one job per day in a month would become almost at least 20,000 per month. Again, net of all products, net of all travel costs and all of that. That's an average UC worker earning 20,000. So if I were to further think of this, of what will our top performers earn on the platform, at least a minimum of top quartile of our partners are earning almost 36,000 per month, again, net of all commissions. If I tell you, and these are facts that I'm throwing at you, right? So this last October was one of the busiest months. It was festive. There was Karwa Chauth, there was Diwali, almost all there, and a few more festive season thrown in. Our beauticians earned more than 1 lakh per month. That's the power of the platform. That's what we are helping them with. And these were beauticians who when they were not associated with urban company were earning almost 15 max 20,000 a month because of whichever salon they were associated with, or even lower if it was just a local salon, and if it was a Gitanjali, for example, it would be 20,000 a month. And right now, being a micro entrepreneur, they're able to earn almost at least 1 lakh. Right. So that's the part of the platform. That's what we're offering them. That's what they're benefiting from. And while this is true for beauticians, this is also true for other categories as well. An AC technician easily during season manages to make more upwards of 1 lakh a month. And you wouldn't see them being able to earn this much off the platform. It doesn't really happen that way. So this is the power of a big platform that's helping them, empowering them, and giving them a flexibility of choosing their own times. They get to choose when they want to work, when they don't want to work, right? So if you want to do just say work 4 hours a day every day for 30 days a month, you'll still manage to earn 25 to 30,000, 25,000 or so. And imagine how much that opens up the rest of the family that is associated with them, how much that they start growing, right? They are able to send their children to better schooling. For someone who was earning just 10,000 or 12,000, suddenly getting to see almost a double income in their hands, that's massive. And precisely why our partners are happy with us. Our partner NPS is great, and our partners continue to work with us. I think there's a message on the chat. I'm sorry, I've not seen that yet. So I think I've said a lot about what we've done for the partners. I'll just show you this video. I'll make it full screen. And can you guys hear this video? Just let me know. Is the video audible?
Not audible, no.
Okay, let me start sharing again. A second.
Ma'am, it's not audible.
कैसे डील करना चाहिए।
Is it audible now?
Yes.
अर्बन कंपनी में आने के बाद में काफ़ी कुछ चेंज हो गया। पता लगा कि कस्टमर से कैसे डील करना चाहिए, अपनी अर्निंग को कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं और काम की स्किल को कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं। मेरा नाम फुर्सत अली है, मैं अर्बन कंपनी एसी टेक्नीशियन हूँ और मैं अर्बन कंपनी के साथ 3 साल से काम कर रहा हूँ। मैं 2012 में दिल्ली आया था, मेरे चाचा यहाँ रहते हैं, तो उनके साथ मैं दिल्ली घूमने के लिए आया था। तो उन्होंने मुझे लोकल दुकान पर काम सीखने के लिए लगा दिया था। अर्निंग नहीं थी, बहुत कम पैसे मिलते थे, काम भी क्या मैं नहीं मिलता था, 4 से 5 महीने काम करना पड़ता था। कोई ड्रेस सेंस नहीं थी, कोई ग्रूमिंग नहीं थी, जो कि कस्टमर के साथ में कस्टमर को अच्छा फील नहीं होता था। तो वो हमें एक जो रेस्पेक्ट होनी चाहिए थी टेक्नीशियन की, वो नहीं दे पाता था। मेरा एक फ्रेंड था जो अर्बन कंपनी में काम करता था, उसने मुझे अर्बन कंपनी के बारे में बताया था। कंपनी के आने के बाद में मेरी अर्निंग बढ़ी है, मैंने अपनी घर की जिम्मेदारी उठाना शुरू कर दिया है, तो मेरे घर वाले मुझसे खुश हैं, मैं भी अपनी फैमिली के साथ में खुश हूँ। मैंने अपनी अभी हाल ही में सिस्टर की शादी कराई थी, उसके लिए मैंने 15 लाख रुपए दिए थे घर वालों को। मम्मी का एक्सीडेंट हो गया था, तो मम्मी का इलाज का खर्चा उठाया था। घर को क्या मैं रेनोवेट कराया था। पहले मैं 40-50 हज़ार रुपये महीने कमाता था, अब मेरी अर्निंग डबल हो गई है। अब मैं महीने का 1.5 लाख कमा लेता हूँ। अर्बन कंपनी में आने के बाद मेरा एक सपना पूरा हुआ है। पहले मैं टीचर बनना चाहता था, तो वो मेरा सपना अधूरा रह गया था, लेकिन मैं अर्बन कंपनी के साथ में जब ज्वाइन हुआ, मेरी परफॉर्मेंस अच्छी थी, तो कंपनी ने मुझे एसएमई ट्रेनर रखा था। तो जब ट्रेनर के लिए गया, तो मैंने लोगों को सिखाया, तो मुझे फील हुआ कि शायद आज मुझे मेरा जो टीचर वाला सपना था वो पूरा हो गया।
Cool. So I personally really like such videos that my team keeps on making, and going into partner lives, understanding them and detailing them out. And this is one of the core jobs that my team does, putting out the actual impact, right? These are real videos, real stories, real humans, and it's always heartening to see these. So moving on from that, I think one of the critical pieces that Fursat mentioned in his video was, which I'll also touch upon, is how the how we look at growth of our partners, right? So the entire life cycle of a partner when he joins the platform and what happens then. So we have a onboarding training program. So when a partner joins, depending on the experience and the category they are joining, initial training will range from 5 days to 45 days. 45 days being the maximum, mostly for a fresher kid who wants to become a beautician. And beauticians are the most intensive, one of the most intensive training programs that we have. The others will depend on the category and service experience, but usually within the range of 5 to 45 days, 45 being the highest. Once they are through with the training, they have to undergo a test. If they clear the test, they become partner. They start working with the Urban Company platform. If they don't, they can reattempt. And unless they clear the test, they cannot join the platform. The next is a certification test with the Government of India. So again, we provide all and these are all free of cost training programs that we're providing them. So even for the Skill India certification, the program test fees is paid by us, and the partners try it and clear it and get the Skill India certificate. So all our partners have the Skill India certification as well. Once they start joining going live on the platform, start meeting the consumers and doing the job, that's when things get interesting, like I usually like to call it. So if I take the example of a beautician, right, a fresher beautician who's just joined, completed the training, is now live on the platform. We have 3 types of salon services on our platform. So there's a Salon Classic, the first rung, there's a Salon Prime, and Salon Lux. Lux being the ultimate luxury, more expensive services than a Classic, and therefore more earnings. So the first time you'll start off on the most basic salon category that we have, Salon Classic. And depending on how well you do there, how your skill sets are, you'll gradually get promoted to the Salon Prime category. And then again, depending on customer feedback, reviews, ratings, and the tenure spent, you will then move on to Salon Lux. Accordingly, your average earnings will keep on increasing, right? So the next is what happens after you reach Salon Lux. Now, next what? Then you have an option of becoming a full-time employee, becoming a full-time trainer at Urban Company. There are other options also. Those options are always discussed. Nothing is ever enforced on the partners. It's always a conversation which they fully buy into or don't buy into, and accordingly progress. These are options that we also offer to our other service categories. For example, in our cleaning service, when someone joins and undergoes a training, they first start with kitchen and bathroom cleaning services only. Those are the lowest order clean services on the platform for cleaning category. How you perform, how you get rated, how you continue to work with the platform. Then you progress to sofa cleaning and other categories, and then finally the full house home cleaning, deep cleaning. Accordingly, again, the average order value increases, so your earnings increase. That's a model that we have across categories, ensuring that we are equally invested in our partners, right? And we also map their growth path. So how it cannot be that if you're now a beautician, there's nothing else in life. It cannot be the end of be all and end all, right? So what next? As working professionals, we also look forward to that appraisal, or what next after 2 years. I've been stuck in the same job. I need what's next for me. I'm sure our partners are equally ambitious, and they also want to know what's next for them. And that's how we program. We also look at it internally, and accordingly frame our structure. How should our partners succeed in life? What will be the next thing that they would want? Preempting that and offering them that, retaining them and continuing to invest in them. Sorry. Next slide. Yep. So precisely what I mentioned, free training for all service partners, ranges from 3 to 45 days. And like I mentioned earlier, we have more than 100 training centers and 200 plus full-time trainers on board. And we have also signed up with the NSDC and Skill India. Now, these are all the trainings and investments, so to say. What else do we do for our partner enablement? So, our partner enablement program covers, which loosely put is basically the security net that you will hear in a lot of news. What is a security net being provided to gig workers? So, this is a security net that we provide to all our gig workers. There is an insurance, there is an accidental insurance that's available to all our partners. We were one of the first companies also to provide them a COVID insurance last year. It still exists. And we've also started providing health insurance to select partners. We're also gradually opening that up. Then about the finance and access to finance, right? So most of the partners who join the platform don't have bank accounts. So we even help them opening those bank accounts, helping them with all other tax related details. Then we also help them with financing and loans. So there will be a starter loan. For example, if you're a beautician, you need a starter kit, all the products and the facials and the pedicures that need to be applied to a consumer, you need money to buy them. We help them with the initial starter kit that would be needed, underwritten by us, of course. We also provide personal loans. We've also recently started offering home loans to our partners. Again, this is something that we'll start opening up. We had actually launched home loans just last year, and due to COVID, there wasn't a lot of uptake, but I'm now with things improving and things looking up, we'll be opening it up to a lot more partners going forward. So yes, we're providing all of that. Apart from this, what else did we do during COVID, right? So we set up 2 relief funds. In the first wave, we set up a relief fund with Srinidhi Foundation, raising up to 1.5 crores. In the second wave, we set up the Mohit Agarwal Relief Fund, raising up to 1.2 crores. Both the monies were and are being used to help partners cope with COVID-related, like if it's a medical emergency, if they have it or someone in the family has it, medicines, doctor consultations, all of that. Then interest-free loans of up to the tune of 20 crores to all partners. Of course, a lot of, then free vaccination camps. This was again an industry first, started by us this year. And gradually all the platforms came together and did it on a larger scale so that all gig workers benefit from it. Then what else did we do during COVID? We had income protection and health insurance specific to COVID, like I mentioned, and we started also partner counseling. All right, so we partnered with a third party, I think Pristine Care or some platform we partnered with, and they help with the mental health consultations for all our partners. If this was a troublesome time for us who are still, so to say, privileged, imagine what it would be for someone who cannot step out to earn the money, that will put food on the table, right? Extremely troubling, excruciating times. You just don't know when you can start working, when you step out of the house, when you can start working with consumers again. So we invested heavily in the mental health consultations for our partners. So what did all of this yield to, right? We are doing so many efforts, so much efforts, a lot of stuff. It only reinforced what of why we started this platform, to make an actual change in people's lives. And this basically got reaffirmed last year when Fair Work Foundation, it's a think tank based out of Oxford University in London, scored us 8 on 10 with respect to fairness, fairness work measurements. So there was principles that they used for fair pay, fair conditions, fair contracts, fair representation, fair management. And we are the top platform in India to get a score of that kind. And the others were pretty far behind us, if I may say so. So yeah. And yes, and this is a final video. It's actually a really beautiful video. I would really like you guys to see this also. And
मेरा नाम भव्या शर्मा है। मैं अर्बन कंपनी से फर्स्ट फीमेल आरओ टेक्नीशियन हूँ। अभी तक कोई आरओ टेक्नीशियन थी नहीं। बहुत प्राउड फील होता है। मेरे को एक आइडेंटिटी मिल गया, जो सिर्फ मैं हाउसवाइफ थी, अब मैं बाहर जाके काम करती हूँ। अब लोग मेरे को जानते एज ए आरओ टेक्नीशियन अर्बन कंपनी के थ्रू, तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है। ऐसा अभी कोई फील्ड नहीं बचा जहाँ पे फीमेल्स नहीं हो। अभी मैंने शुरुआत कर ली तो और भी लोग आए, आरओ कैटेगरी में ज्वाइन करें, अच्छे से कमाए, अपने फैमिली को अच्छे से चलाए। मेरा हस्बैंड का मार्च में डेथ हुआ। तब तक तो घर पूरा वही संभाल रहे थे। वो पहले अर्बन कंपनी में सीनियर आरओ टेक्नीशियन थे, सो पूरा फैमिली उनके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट था। अर्बन कंपनी में तो हेल्प किया फाइनेंशियली, फिर भी घर तो आगे चलाना ही था और भी फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम्स थे, तो मैं किसी के ऊपर डिपेंड होना नहीं चाहती थी। सो मैंने बात किया अर्बन कंपनी के सीनियर मैनेजर से,
because I always wanted to have a female representation in our team, and when Bhavya reached out to me, I said ki let's do it. So we conducted a very unbiased screening process. Then we had a training, and everyone in the team were really supportive and welcomed Bhavya and gave equal opportunity to be part of an urban company. And then Bhavya was put out on field to start delivering jobs for RO. And since the month of April end towards July now, she has been consistently in the top 10 partners of our team in Bangalore.
जब मैं ट्रेनिंग के लिए जाती हूँ तो सारे लोग मेल्स होते हैं, मैं अकेली फीमेल्स होती हूँ। मुझे ऐसा कोई डिफरेंस नहीं लगता। अभी तक जितने भी मैंने कस्टमर अटेंड किया सारे लोग अच्छे थे। कुछ लोग अभी भी मेरे को वापस उनके जब भी आरओ की परेशानी होती है मुझे ही बुलाते हैं। बच्चे जो पढ़ना चाहे, उनकी जो भी मर्जी है, मेडिकल हो, इंजीनियरिंग हो, जो भी पढ़ना चाहे उनको अच्छे से पढ़ाना है, अच्छे सा लाइफस्टाइल उनको देना है। और भी फीमेल लोग मेरे को देख के इम्प्रेस होके इस कैटेगरी में आए, काम करें। अर्बन कंपनी के लिए मैं बहुत थैंक्सफुल हूँ।
So that was a small PPT from my side. I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts and any questions. I would like to take them up.
Wow, I think this truly sums up these possibility which we can really tap in a country like India. What was very interesting that I think we had like 2 Bhavyas in the discussion and perspective. I think that really added a lot of impact, I would say. Bhavya, I think I'll open the discussion to the participants, and I would like to share a quick thought before anyone asks a question, or even I read out to you some of the questions, Bhavya, from the chat box. Is that I think you might require to check with your HR manager, because 70% of these participants are showing their interest to know about career opportunities with the urban company.
Depends on which background you're coming in from, right? There are numerous career opportunities here at UC. And
would you
from
like
business
to,
development to technology,
exactly,
to product development, to communications, to creatives, to marketing, even HR, right? So it really depends on what skill sets you have or what interest areas you have and how that can be matched. In any case, please check out our careers at urbancompany.com web section. You'll know what is there on offer currently.
Right. Thank you so much. I'll open the discussion again to students. I would also like to quickly take some questions which were asked earlier, through our chat box. Sure. One of those questions, Bhavya, was that Anushka actually asked a question, Bhavya, which possibly you had touched upon, related to mental health support.
Yes.
Anushka asks about the psychosocial framework, in the business structure or planning. Yeah.
So Anushka, we actually have, we have partnered with the mental health platforms for both our partners and even our full-time employees. Especially, if the last 1.5 means since March 2020, right? It's been a tough time for everyone, our full-time employees as well as our partners. We even lost one of our dear colleagues, and in his memory, we set up Mohit Agarwal Relief Fund this year. And I would personally not know what is the framework, because honestly, which is why we partnered with a platform which will be able to bring the right understanding to this. We've But if there's something you specifically want to know, please feel free to let me know exactly what you want to understand here, and I'll probably will be able to get you in touch with or put you in touch with someone who would have more understanding than me on this. But we personally don't have any psychologists on our platform. We have third-party enablers who can have these conversations. Of course, all of this is fully paid by the company. Yeah.
Okay. One more question, Bhavya. Thank you for that. Devporna asks, yeah, if Devporna is still there. Thanks, Anushka, for the question. Devporna asks, ma'am, can you please elaborate about corporate communication? Since I have a paper on corporate communication in my next semester. So, Bhavya, if you would like to just demystify the corporate communication bit in your work, which we have been very happy about in this session as of now. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Devparna, for this. Honestly, a very, very broad question. I'll try and see how, if my answer helps. So corporate communication actually covers a lot of pieces. I myself look at social media for urban companies. So social media would pertain your Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We are not active on Snapchat and other youthful platforms. Does not match our target audience, right? But we have we have presence on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. The other piece within corporate communications will be your media relations. So how do you work with the larger media fraternity? So publications, TV channels, journalists, other podcast platforms that you can work with. The third aspect here would be your employer branding. Employer branding is extremely critical if you think of from hiring perspective and overall great place to work at and other such recognitions that a brand gets, or say top LinkedIn startup awards and such things. So employer branding becomes a big piece again under corporate communications. The fourth would be your internal communications. So how do it's important to talk to consumers. It's also important to talk to your full-time employees, your internal team. So how do you talk to them? How do you keep them apprised of what's happening in the company at a larger level? How what they are doing is meaningful to what the company is trying to achieve. Right? All of those facets also come under it. The fifth piece would be partner communications. So again, one of the most important pieces again, how do we talk to our partner community? How do we keep them motivated? How do we listen to their pain points or their problems and find solutions for them? These could be immediate solutions, or these would require deeper thinking and systemic solutions. So all of those pieces come into it. Right? The other as facet of corporate communications gradually opens up to, which is becoming a much bigger piece overall, is the sustainability aspect of CSR or sustainability. Those also become key aspects of corporate communications. I hope this helped. I'm sorry, I won't be able to help you with your paper, though I don't know the questions yet or the course.
Right, Deepan. I think, thank you, Bhavya. Deepan has acknowledged on the chat box. We have Neela from Earth Day Network, and Bhavya, Neela mentions that she would like to see more women in the green economy too. So would you like to, because you mentioned sustainability, even in your earlier thought process, would you like to amplify on that space that Urban Company might be also looking at this hour?
Yes. So actually, green economy is a very broad term. It would be great, Neela, if you can, define that slightly for me. Women in green economy, definitely yes, but exactly what do you mean by green economy? Are you referring to renewable energy, or are you referring to EVs, electrics? Ola being a great player at that right now, very active in that space, or do you simply mean CSR related sustainability, environmental efforts?
All of these actually, Bhavya. Thank you so much for talking about sustainability, because we believe that skill building, which is so important now for the economy, if we can build skills that are also green and sustainable, that would be great. I mean, since you mentioned renewables, we know
Yeah.
that there's going to be so much need for us to meet our sustainability goals, and we're totally on track with it. And there's so much happening in the solar sector, as you put it. So those are the absolute green economy sectors. But even in any job that people are doing, in any career that you are in, if you look at sustainability measures even within the organization, or
Yep.
give green tips to people, all these electricians who are going in and looking at ACs, if they can, give green tips to these householders, telling them that this is the ideal temperature in which to play, keep your AC, how you can actually save on energy consumption by doing such and such. If they're beauticians,
Yeah.
if they're using, non-chemical products. So if you could give some training to your staff on this as well. I just wanted to find out if Urban Company is thinking along these lines too.
Absolutely, Neela. I think really fantastic point. We are actively looking into sustainability. We are, taking steps that need to be and in line with what overall in globally right now, the COP26 or other such measures that are being, or decisions that are being taken at a much bigger, larger platform, how we as a company can contribute or make even a small effort towards those. So definitely within beauty segment and other aspects also, how we can contribute, we are looking at that. Um, and will be actively pursuing some of those solutions as well. Apart from this, if I do talk about sustainability or ESG overall, one of our key aspects, and which is why ESG comes very naturally to us, is because, sorry about that, is because that our main basis of the company of empowering service professionals or micro entrepreneurs stems from the United Nations SDG Sustainability Development Goal number 8, and we are aligned with that. And that is where largely our focus has been. But yes, environment is an extremely important aspect, and we will now be actively pursuing right steps in the right direction for that as well. Yeah. Hope that helped. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Neela. So Naina, you had a really interesting question. Those who do not have an MBA degree, can they join HR in urban company or not? Personally, I don't think MBAs are that important, or I myself am not an MBA. I am a literature graduate, and I mean, my graduation and post-graduation both are in literature from Delhi University. And there was a point in time that I did feel that, MBA is the only thing in life that can take you to heights. That perspective changed almost 7-8 years ago when I realized that I don't need this. If you have the brains and the skills, the degree is just an addition. It will definitely help open up doors, but it's not like it will prevent you from rising in your career. So, and whether it's HR or any other category or any other division, MBA may help, will. It's also where do you do your MBA from will decide where you land finally, but it won't take it away from you. Nothing will take it away from you.
Ma'am, actually, I want to share something with everyone, with sir as well as all of you. Good evening to everyone. Actually, ma'am, that is why I ask you, ma'am, HR is required on, because ma'am, I have never been into this role. I have always been as an English teacher, and I used to teach English, and I have done my masters and my B.Ed in English as well. But ma'am, as far as now, as we can see, the schools and all are not having any vacancy. So I was thinking, ki, ma'am, is this a good, better platform or media or anything like editing? As can it be done in the urban company? Is there any platform for editing as well as means in newspaper editing or something like that, or being into HR? That is why. Is there
I'll
any
recommend trying out online gig platforms that are available for editing and writing. You can perhaps also look into Pepper Content. Pepper.ai or Pepper.com is their full website name. They provide freelance writing support. I mean, you can join with them as a writer or an editor or any other
means from home
language
only we
skills.
can do that, no, ma'am?
Yes,
We
that's
don't
from
need to
home.
be physically present.
No, you don't.
Okay, ma'am. What is the .com? Paper you said, no?
Pepper content.
Paper
Pep,
content.
PEPPER. Let me just write it down.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am and sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Pleasure, Sunaina. Thanks for asking very important questions. And Rakesh Mishra, Bhavya, if you have noticed, he has a very interesting point that he wants to understand how to promote rural youth to join urban companies. So how does urban company get people on board as partners or as human resources?
I think that's a question that almost 500 people in our team answer day in, day out. How do we get people to join the company? How do we find more partners? How we do it here at UC is mostly from word of mouth and referral. So the already active platforms on the platform, already active workers on the platform refer their further family and friends to us. That's almost the primary source of new partners for us. The other ways, tying up with platforms like apna.com and other such blue collared workforce platforms who identify and then provide us with them. Last ways, and which also is very actively pursued by partners, is they log into our partner app, Urban Company Partner app, or they drop and sign in on the website, share their details with us, and our team gets in touch with them and assesses them, and then it sees if they can join our platform or not. On us expanding to rural areas, currently we are active in almost 37 cities in India and 8 international markets. We do hope to be present in top 100 cities in India over the next couple of years. Definitely we'll try for top 50 cities by end of next year for sure. And let's see how we go from there. On the third point that you've mentioned, what differentiates individual communications from corporate? This is personal branding versus corporate branding essentially, right? So I think a lot more things to keep in mind when it's corporate communications. Better to be, it's about how your brand's value align with what you're saying on every single platform. For example, if we believe that happy partners make happy customers, that's the statement we'll have across every social media platform or every piece of communication that we go out with, internally and externally. And this is a belief that we centrally do believe in. The other UC value that we truly champion and believe in is win-win. Win-win for all stakeholders. So no matter what the solution or whatever it is that you're coming up with, has to ensure that all stakeholders involved are winners in it. It cannot be it cannot favor one party over another. It has to be absolutely unbiased. It has to have success for all stakeholders in mind. Those are the values we cherish and we champion. The other is bias for action. I think we, as internally and as through our partners, our bias for action is extremely high. We want to ensure that it's supersonic all the time. So that's how we also communicate through all our communications. And it's overarching would be our mission statement that I mentioned at the start of the PPT. Everything gets decided via that. Everything stems from that. And that's for corporate communications. When it comes to individual communication, I think it's your personal viewpoint and your authenticity that you bring to the table that matters. The moment, and I'll go on go slightly off here. I'll digress. I'll take LinkedIn as an example. The moment you see an authentic message there, you will like it. But the moment you know it's fake and it's being copy pasted by 100 people, you will be put off, right? And this is bullshit. It's the same thing. So what you bring to the table, what you want to communicate to people, how true it is about you, how authentic it is about you, that will always win. Otherwise, it won't.
Thank you, Bhavya, for replying my questions. And it's really great interacting to all of you. And I really got to very deep into about urban company. Thank you for the information. And I just want to share, like I'm associated with the Art of Living. So we are working in very deep rural areas in across India, not just India, in fact, 156 countries. And so we can make connect to get in touch with many rural youths, because we keep training people in across the villages, and we keep and even I am also a trainer for youth leader. We organize trainings like a youth leader training program for the youths. That's to all of them come from villages. In fact, I belong to Bihar, and yeah, even in Bihar itself, there are a lot of like scarcity for jobs and all. Yeah. So although I have worked with Fossil and Titan in my previously, like I have worked as sales manager in Fossil and then previously Titan after graduation, but now I'm associated with the Art of Living and working for the rural youths itself. So I'm sure we can get in touch.
Absolutely. If you think that the folks you're associated with will be happy to work in cities and will move to cities, that will be great for us. We can definitely talk about this separately.
Yes,
and
sure.
we have started operations in Patna, if that helps.
Yeah, of course, that would be great. And so I'll get back to you, Anna. So I'll now request to take a leave because I have another meeting at 6.
Sure, Rakesh. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll
Thank
connect you
you.
through LinkedIn.
Sure.
Surely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rakesh, for being with us, sharing your thoughts, and also that's also for everyone to see that these sessions are not just mere knowledge transfer series, but it also expands into, as you saw, opportunities, networking, collaboration, right? Prospecting. So that is one of the broader purpose for which we try our best to connect you with people and resources like Bhavya. Bhavya, I just realized we have gone past 6. It felt like a breeze. It felt like a breeze, literally interacting with you. Participants, can't thank you enough. One final question, Bhavya, because while I was, talking about your work to many of my students at Catalyst and people whom I know, one question that was asked to me by many students was that, say, for example, as you mentioned, you were a literature student and you had taken up humanities as your core domain in terms of your education, then went ahead with your application across different platforms and organizations. A question that a lot of students ask me, Bhavya, is that when you're looking at communication in a tech company, because we forget to realize that Urban Company is actually a technology-enabled aggregator for our essential services. It's the fact that, how well you end up weaving the stories that we fail to realize that there are certain programming and codes which are working, to get those services to our doorstep. So some of our students, Bhavya, used to ask me, and this question that, is it really difficult, or is there like a separate liking of technology which plays a role if a student from a literature, communication, or say a non-technical background is looking for an opportunity in a technology-based company? What would be your thoughts on that to many of these participants?
I'm really happy you asked this, Saurav. Simply because this is a topic really close to my heart, honestly, and this has always been a pain point, mostly with communication students, right? What do we do in life? Where do we fit in? I mean, journalism seems like a very natural fit, but journalism is not everyone's cup of tea. And if I want to do something else, can I still make that switch or not? So to talk about myself, and so while I did my grad and postgrad in English literature, my first job was actually investment banking research in French language for a company now called, at that time it was called Copal Partners. Through numerous transitions, it became Moody's Analytics, and right now it's called Equity Knowledge Partners. Right. So, and I was there. I was doing all investment banking research for almost 2.5 years, which is when I decided, I mean, everything is great, but this is not what I love. I mean, I'm doing translation. Yes, I'm talking to international teams. Yes, I'm getting to learn so much more about what makes businesses work. But this is not where my heart lies, right? And then I decided to switch into editing. Similar domain. I mean, as in the it was a B2B company. I moved to another company where we were doing. I was editing documents for of financial research and other research reports, and getting to learn the nitty gritties of editing. Honestly, the language that you learn in college is very different from the real world. So those skills helped me tremendously. From there, I moved on to EY Ernst and Young, and I became the team global teams. I was part. I represented India. I was the India SCOC for one of the global team for branding, marketing, and communications. Over there, my role was much more diverse and super challenging, and at the same time really interesting. How do we brand EY? How do we popularize EY internally among our other client partners? How do we talk about our research? Right. Then from there, I decided that it's B2B is enough. It's boring now. Let's try something else. And I had already by then covered 6.5 years of my professional life. By then, I thought it's time to make a switch. Let's do B2C. And I joined. And I had no idea of B2C at that time, honestly. I took a break of 6-7 months. I tried digital marketing. I did a few courses online. I thought I might have some idea of this, and it so happened I was a natural fit. I could pick it up really well, and because I had strong communication skills, I could write well for the internet, for digital markets. And that's when I joined Policy Bazaar Group. I was leading the entire content vertical at that time. I set it up for the sister concern, Paisa Bazaar. Spent numerous years over there, learned digital marketing in and out. From and on, it's all on the job learning, right? Nobody is actually going to spend time with you and teach you anything. If you need to have the brains to be able to want and that desire to learn and evolve and upskill yourself constantly. From there, I moved to Urban Company. I've been here for a little over 4 years now, and I started as a content person. From there, I've moved into setting up teams for social media, for corporate comms, for PR, for everything. And again, nobody to teach, but you need to learn on the job. You need to make that network. You need to learn from the best. You need to develop those skills yourself. No one is going to actually handhold you, and this needs to come to you naturally. If you're willing to take those risks, no matter which degree you have, you will be able to take those risks and take those steps forward.
Right. Thank you so much. I think that's a very key take away from everyone, to learn on the job. And this is possibly as Bhavya mentions, the most organic and the most effective way in which one acquires the skills. So thanks, Bhavya. This has been truly an inspiring session. I must admit, I picked up a lot of points, and it was so inspiring to see how Urban Company, and I think most importantly, the vision of the people associated with the company, represented by you, is steering the growth and sustainability of our economy.
Thanks, sir. That's very kind of you.
we truly enjoyed interacting with you, knowing you. Participants, thanking you once more for your questions, for taking out your time, sharing your ideas, knowing Bhavya, knowing Urban Company. And as we said, that this is not the end of this session, but the possibility of the beginning of opportunities for all of us. So do stay in touch with us, with Urban Company. Do connect with Bhavya if it's required, and do let us know how we can improve our attempts to support you back with the knowledge transfer series in the days ahead. Bhavya, once again, this has been a wonderful Saturday spent with you and everyone.
Thanks, Saurav.
With this session.
Really happy you invited me for this. I hope this session was useful for everyone here. Happy to have more detailed conversations. Absolutely.
Surely. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay well, stay safe, And we'll certainly be in touch with all of you. Thank you. Stay well. Bye-bye.